Just playing through the final whistle. Can't really explain it, but we just got to give each other confidence when we go through stretches like that, and just keep fighting, keep believing.
Jalen, just walk me through your mentality in these final kind of plays, the way that you had on Monday, and then in these two plays in the final minute today. For you, mentally, how have you been so mentally strong and tough to be able to come through in those moments, even if you struggled in the first half of both games?
Yeah, it's a focus that I need to have at that moment. You can't really worry about what happened previously in the game. It's all about just focusing, having a clear mind, and just trying to win the game. That's just my mindset, and I wouldn't be that way without my teammates.
For both of you, Tibbs got up here and said people always like to talk about offensive runs, but there can be defensive runs and rebounding runs. And he mentioned Josh grabbing a couple boards there in a row. How important is those things when the shots aren't falling, to just do everything else and do it at a high level? And does that turn into the offense getting to where it needs to be?
Yeah, I think so. When you're not making shots, you got to find ways to impact the game in a positive way. And, that could be an offensive rebound, kick out for another opportunity, a defensive steal to get you out in transition and on the break and get an easy bucket. And those things are momentum plays. And, they really compound and they inspire your teammates. So, that's something that we all try to do. And, we know when it gets close in the end of a game, it's a one-possession game. We're very comfortable because we got Captain Clutch.
How big is for you guys to go back home with a 2-0 lead? And what can you tell me about Carl Towns' performance?
I mean, it's very important. Going home, realizing the opportunity we have, we just got to make sure we're still locked in. Nowhere close to being done. Just keep making sure our mindset is the same. And Cat, just the way he started out the game, it was great for us. And just the way he's been throughout the entire season. And he's been one of the best teammates we have. And the way he gives us energy and the way he goes and gets rebounds and what he does, that's doesn't go unnoticed. And it's just the way he's been.
I thought you were tweeting, so I kept refreshing.
Oh, no, I was trying to order some Uber Eats.
You guys both talked before this season about acquiring Mikal and OG specifically because of the Boston element, because of their wings. How about the way that those two guys have been able to hold Brown and Tatum in the first two games of the series, and how important has that been?
I think it's been huge. We give, obviously, OG a tremendous amount of credit. Played huge for us last game. This game offensively really carried us last game, along with JB. And Kel, man, you can't say enough about his toughness and his grit, his mentality. I think he ended up with 14 points. I think he went into the fourth with no points. And fourth quarter, he made huge plays for us offensively to keep us in the game. And defensively, he has the ability to change the whole course of a game. And you give him credit because even when his shot's not falling, he's making, huge plays that impact winning.
Josh, I think they missed 14 straight shot attempts in the fourth quarter. Obviously they kind of unraveled in the first game as well. Can you sense a team unraveling on the court, or a team that's on the ropes, sort of that's kind of ready to take a run on?
Honestly, to be realistic with you, that doesn't come to mind. Our biggest thing is especially when we go on those runs, it's all right, let's get a stop. We get a stop, let's get another stop. Let's get another stop. And like I said, we got guys that can score the ball. And when we're down that much, the only thing we're thinking about is let's get this to a one-possession game towards the end of the game. And like I said, I feel like our defensive intensity picked up in the fourth quarter. Now we got to learn from it and Saturday put together a full game.
Mikal has kind of conquered adversity all season long. He struggled, admittedly, to start the year, and then he puts up 40 on Christmas. The weirdness in Portland hits the game winner, and then obviously, like you said, didn't score until the fourth tonight. As the two that know him the longest, what is it about him that allows him to kind of rise to those moments or not be too shaken up by what's the outside noise or what's going around? Or has it been a process for him learning to do that too?
I think it's been like that. Now, just going back to our days in college, just the way that we practiced and we prepared for games, it was more mental than anything. And so when you get to the real life or the real game situations, you practice it, you've been prepared for it, you've been through moments like that. And so I think when you do that at a young age and you have that in your repertoire and you go into your professional career and you just have that in your back pocket, like you've went through it. And so he has the ability to block out the noise. And like I said, no matter what happens, we're going to be together as a team, and we're going to have each other's back regardless. And doesn't matter what a single person or us collectively are going through.
For either one of you, there were so many questions, people talking about the makeup of last year's team compared to this year's team. What you guys have done here, 5 straight road wins in the playoffs, coming back from 20 down every night, have those been put to bed by you guys?
What's been put to bed? Sorry.
Just the people who said that maybe this team wasn't as tough as last year's team, or
I mean, this team's different from last year's team. Nothing wrong with that. We got to find it. We just got to find a way with this year.
Asked a couple guys in the locker room, same question I'm going to ask you guys. You think you need to spot them 20 points from opening to be able to play your best basketball, or what do you attribute the ability to come back from behind like that to?
I would prefer not to, but we need to start the game a lot better. Sustain how we play. I think the first quarter of game 1 we played decent, then we had a drought, but we got to find a way to limit their runs. Now they're going to go on runs. They're a great team. They can shoot the ball, and they can make plays for each other like no other. But we got to just find a way to limit their runs, and so not get in the hole like that.
How would you describe just what this team is capable of? I know you're trying to stay even keeled and move on to the next game, but what you've done these past 2 nights is pretty rare.
I don't think we even know what we're capable of. I think we have to continue to build. I think we have to put together a full game, and I think that's something that we haven't done during the course of this playoffs. We got leads and we surrendered leads, and then we came back from big leads. So we got to figure out a way to put together a complete game, and then that can answer some of those questions. But for us, it's just about continuing to get better. No one else is worried about that? And figuring out a way to put together a full 48-minute game.
Josh and Jalen, you can chime in as well. So many of these NBA playoff games the past couple of weeks have taken more of a March Madness tenor with tip-ins at the buzzer, Tyrese Halliburton doing his thing, Jalen in Detroit. You guys have been part of a national championship. You guys have been part of a team that was a #1 seed and lost.
He's been
Don't do it. No,
sorry.
No, I'm saying him.
My apologies.
I got one.
He's been part of one.
I got one. That's all that matters.
Part of 2.
I got one.
Are there any parallels between the win or go home with March Madness to what these playoffs have produced?
Nah, I don't think so. I think the craziness is there, and the intensity is there, and I think that's fun for the fans, fun for the league, fun for the players. But it's a totally different game, totally different style. But you always have to approach the game with that kind of intensity, that kind of win or go home, physicality and energy. And when you do that, good things happen. But there's been some crazy games in this playoffs, and it's been fun to watch and to be a part of.
This is for both of you, but Jalen, are you? I know you got to be laser focused on the next game, the next series, but both of you aware of sort of the positive impact that that your game and your victories, bless you,
Thank you.
are having on a city like New York? That's kind of, people all over the place. But are you aware of just the impact that you guys are having on the city?
I want to say that we're aware. We see obviously what happens after games, home games, what the fans do. But I'm gonna let them do them. We're gonna focus on us.